Okay, Muneer bhai is more like a brother to me, very good friend. So I'm going to have a very light session. Okay, if some question आपको अच्छा नहीं लगता है, आप pass बोल सकते हैं. No issues. You're a chartered accountant.
Yeah,
You'll
I'm
attempt everything.
comfortable. So already you started the discussion with a naughty boy. So I'm comfortable with any question.
How was Master Muneer when he was in school, and how notorious were you? घर पे लगता था कि आप कभी चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट बनेंगे.
Yeah, actually, the journey started at school. I was very calm and cool and not that studious. Very difficult to memorize the question and answers. But somehow, when I came in the 9th and 10th class, then I really took the pickup in studies.
10th standard.
Yeah, 10th standard. And from there, mashallah, intermediate was wonderful. So I used to tell myself, because first year यहाँ है, second year यहाँ है. And when I was in intermediate, I used to teach intermediate students as well. When I was in second year, I used to teach first year, and so on and so forth. So that way, mashallah, say, I was when I completed my graduation, I was having a choice either to go with an MBA or a CA. So that time the financial conditions were different. So I was being asked to choose a profession which is very which doesn't cost much. And CA at that point of time, it's very you can just get through the CA course by paying only 4,000, 5,000. It's a very small peanut amount.
Which year was this?
That was in the year 2004.
We'll go a little step back. We'll step back. We all know you're a chartered accountant. So I want to know the story behind the chartered accountant. Because a lot of parents here might have this saying, okay, मेरा बेटा का क्या होगा, मेरी बेटी का क्या होगा, and all that. So when you are not a very studious child, okay. By the way, what is your birth order? How many brothers and sisters do you have?
We have 4 brothers and 1 sister. So I'm the third one.
Okay.
So elder brothers were settled in abroad. They did MBA and.
So was there always a comparison saying आपके भाई ऐसे कर रहे हैं?
Yeah, obviously that was there, because I was not that studious. So they were doing, all the other brothers and siblings were doing quite well. And when I completed my intermediate, that point in time, yes, the parents got confidence that this guy can do. And when I finished my intermediate, I mean before that, when I finished my board exams, so my father wanted me to choose the subject which is not the engineering subject. I mean not the MPC and BPC. So I asked my father that I want to go for BPC because I want to be a doctor. So, but he said, no, I want you to choose a different field. So let's go down and ask people which is the course which will have a lot of future. And then he started talking to so many people, and then finally, and most of them have told that engineering and getting into BPC is now became very common. So let him choose commerce subject, because at that point of time, commerce, अगर कोई commerce subject लेता है, then people used to ask me what is the subject you have taken. So I said I have taken CEC. अरे ये तो ज़नानी subject है.
Done. Okay.
ये मर्दानी subject नहीं होता. So MPC BPC is considered to be मर्दानी subject and CEC to be ज़नानी subject. When I came to BCom, then people started telling कि भाई BCom का मतलब BCom बेकार काम. So I used to tell no, it's not बेकार काम, it's बेहतरीन काम.
BCom people? Okay, there's 1, 2. Okay.
So I used to tell them BCom is not bekar kam, it's behtrin kam if you really study well, and if you have the aim to become chartered accountant in future, or company secretary, or CWA, cost and works accountant. If your aim is to become pursue those professional courses, I think that is the way to. That is the way to.
Okay, now let's move a little deeper into companies. Okay. Let's assume I'm gonna go from एक company जब form होती है वहाँ से लेके जब वो आगे बढ़ती है. What, in very short description, what is the importance of accounting in it? क्योंकि ज़्यादातर business owners को, if you agree with me, raise your hand. हम लोगों को लगता है कि धंधा है कुछ low. See, tajir is somebody who buys and sells. So like a trader or manufacture something and sell. So we always focus on selling. How many business owners agree on this? We always focus on selling. How important is accounting in this?
Yeah, wonderful. Before that, people who wanted to start their businesses, they get stuck in what type of entity they need to start, because
Fantastic,
that is something the आप बीज डाल रहे हो, you are starting a new venture, new business. So there has to be an absolute clarity on what exactly they need to start with. If you see the Indian scenario, you have different type of
Okay,
entities.
I want to quiz this to the audience.
Huh?
I'm so sorry. Audience, here's a quick question for you. In India, there are 3-4 popular type of companies that you can register. Open question. What are the किस तरह की कंपनी आप register कर सकते हो? Proprietor, okay. Is that correct? Proprietor.
Absolutely, yeah.
Then partnership. Then partnership is LLP, is it?
No, no.
No, that's different. Okay. Private limited, most popular. Then one-person company.
Yes.
See, audience knows a little.
Mashallah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So good to hear that. So in Indian scenario, we have proprietorship, partnership firm, and then you have limited liability partnership, which is an advanced version of partnership firm. You can register a private limited company. In that also the new concept has come wherein for a private limited company you need 2 directors, but you are not finding any other director along with you. Then you can also register as OPC company, that is a one-person company as
Somebody
a private
said that,
limited
yes,
company.
yes.
So, and then after that you can also start a public limited company as well. So there are different types of entities. So when what we do, we try to understand what is the vision of the person, what exactly he wanted to enter into, and based on his vision, we suggest him, based on nature of business and the vision, we suggest him, this is the right entity. So once that right entity is been chosen, the registration has to be done. Once the registration has been done, see for example, if somebody want to start a restaurant business, so if he is starting with a LLP or a partner private limited company, so for that, once that company registration is done, there are many other registrations to be done. So it depends on the nature of business, what you're pursuing. If you are a
Let's take
restaurant,
some example from the audience. From the audience, anybody who recently started a business or planning to start a business, stock market. So for somebody like a stock market, ये क्या बोलते हैं, agent, or how do you qualify?
yeah, it depends. I mean, stock market, it's an ocean actually. So there are a lot of, I mean, what kind of business you are into. I mean, is it a broking business, or you can start with proprietorship also. It depends on license, which license you wanted to start with. So you want to be a consulting firm, or you want to be a broker firm, then you should take a broker license. It depends what kind of business. So to understand what entity to be decided, we need to sit with the business owner who has the idea to start with, and we ask him a lot of questions, and then finally based on this question and answers, we understand what exactly the entity to be registered with.
So I'll tell you a parallel example. Muneer bhai, if I can add my example, I'll give you a parallel example. कितने लोग यहाँ पे घर बनते हैं? When you build a house, builder एक तरफ होते ही होते हैं, उसके अलावा आपके पास architect भी होते हैं. So can I draw parallel example like that? कि आपके साथ बैठने से ओनर को भी एक क्लैरिटी मिलती है कि भाई मुझे क्या कंप्लायंस करना है, ये कितना बिजनेस मैं एम कर रहा हूँ कितने साल में, उसके अकॉर्डिंगली इट इज अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट हु टेल्स अस कि ये किस तरह का बिजनेस होना चाहिए.
First thing is we understand what exactly the vision of the person and what is the nature of business. Then we tell him what entity to be registered. Once the entity is registered, depending upon the nature of business, if he's starting with a restaurant business, then we tell him to go with the food license, labor license. Those are the registrations which are required. If somebody want to do export business, then we tell him कि भाई आप company register कर लिए हो. Then the further registrations that you need to take is you need to go with the import-export license and the GST. Okay. So there are a lot of registrations which are also required. So people, what I'm trying to tell and what I'm trying to convey the message, it's very important which entity to establish and incorporate. Once you incorporate the company, what other registrations which are required to be taken based on your nature of business.
Okay.
That is something which is lacking in the market. So once those registrations are in place, then you are not going to, you are not going to be questioned by any other department. So once those registrations are done, then we can talk about the importance of accounting. So before accounting, straight away come to the accounting, it is the business entity which needs to be registered first, and then take all the important registrations which are required or revolving to your idea, and then start with the accounting part.
Okay, I think that's a well taken point कि मुझे पहले अपने CA के साथ बैठना है, मुझे समझना है कि किस तरह का बिजनेस मैं करूं. एंड इट्स अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग मुनीर भाई ब्रॉट अप कि ऐसा नहीं है कि आपने बिजनेस स्टार्ट कर लिया विदाउट सपोर्टिंग लाइसेंसेस. जैसे रेस्टोरेंट में FSSAI, दैट्स वन ऑफ द थिंग्स, या फिर दूसरे बहुत सारे रजिस्ट्रेशन होते हैं जिसकी ज़रूरत पड़ती है. मुनीर भाई, ऑन अ लाइटर नोट, टेल us, no, I can't see you brother, I can only, you have a question. I'll open this for questioning. Okay, tell us one or two, I would say, little lighter funny situations where people did the entire business without registering and then फिर आपके पास आके वो बैठे कि इसको rectify करो.
Absolutely, yeah. There are a lot of situations wherein people business they start business.
ऐसा अपने साथ होता है ना, अपने लोग करते ना ये.
Yeah. And in fact, what we come across, a lot of people who start the business. In India, if you are starting a business, you have to start your current account.
Okay.
And many of them who start businesses, they don't open current account. I mean, they don't have an idea to open a current account. They started doing everything in the saving account. And the transactions goes beyond 10 lakhs and 20 lakhs. So if you are doing transactions in saving account, saving का मतलब ये है कि भाई saving यानी कि कुछ जो बच गया आपके पास वो आप सेविंग अकाउंट में डिपॉजिट करते हो. So saving accounts are not meant for business. You
the
have to
savings
open
account, the name itself says that they are savings account.
Yeah, logically it's very generic. So, but people doesn't have the understanding. Still, there is a lack of education that needs to be. The awareness has to be imparted. And we need to tell people कि भाई you should not be doing any business transactions in saving account. And we have come across such instances, and we tell them that you need to go with some kind of registration and then open a current account. So that's a big issue actually. So if you're doing transactions in saving account, then you might be getting notice, because in the banks now the technology has grown to such an extent. If you're doing substantial transactions in saving account, then the bank in which you are opening an account has the responsibility to share the information through annual information report (AIR). That goes to RBI. From there, it goes to Department of Intelligence. Then from there, they'll be sending the notice to you. There are a lot of transactions which we could able to see in your saving account. So why don't we? Why you are not required to file the return? So these show cause notices are getting. So many people that point of time then they realize कि भाई ये कुछ गलत हो रहा है. Now we need to really correct the issue. So that point of time they come and they ask what needs to be done.
तो उसका क्या हो सकता है मुनीर भाई? Are there any penalties included? क्या होता है उन accounts?
Obviously. So what we do, we see the issue depends on the quantum of transactions that you are doing. So you're doing less than 20 lakh transactions, ठीक है, fine. We tell them कि you file the return and then submit the returns, disclose everything, your income, and then file the return so that you become compliant. And then stop doing transactions in saving account and then immediately switch to your current account. That's how that's the procedure that we need to follow. If you have done the transactions beyond 20 lakhs, then obviously the GST will come into picture.
So they have to pay the entire 20 lakhs ka GST then?
Yeah, obviously.
Can't we send an appeal, or can't we send a request to the ROC or whoever the authorities are, saying malum nahi tha, I was a small business? Because I'll tell you. I see a lot of small shop owners and all.
Yeah. So
they don't
ignorance
have knowledge
of law is not an excuse. Ignorance of law is not an excuse.
Okay,
so
make a note of this point. Ignorance of law is not an excuse.
Absolutely, yeah. So people have to be knowledgeable. They have to be rational. That is the reason if you are starting any business, it's very important you need to consult a chartered accountant. As unlike you have your family doctor, your family lawyer, you need to also have a family CA.
But honestly, I'll tell you, how many first generation entrepreneurs here? First generation business people? Okay, one. I am one of them. हमें हमेशा ये एक फीलिंग आती है, आप लॉयर्स की तरह दिखते हैं हमें, कि इनके पास गए तो सबसे ज़्यादा पैसा चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट ले लेता, and you need to give out lot of documentation. Is there any facility like an app or anything that can help people get everything under one platform or something?
No, before I want to break that myth that people have the understanding that if I go to a chartered accountant then he is very expensive. So I don't think so, because there is a lot of competition which is there in the market. Lot of tax consultants are there in the market. So it's about taking the advice. Okay, it's not about, even if it is costing you bit on your pocket, I would suggest to go with that consulting, because आप अगर if you don't take that advice, then tomorrow you are going to end up in paying lot of money. I've seen such kind of circumstances wherein people have not taken any kind of proper consulting, and they have not done the compliances, and later on they have paid hefty penalties in on as well as interest as well. So that point of time they realize कि भाई गलती हो
कर
गई,
लेना था।
we should have taken the right advice at right point of time. So I think now I would really suggest people to break that myth. People are I mean, you're not CS are not that expensive. It depends on service to service. See,
Correct.
It depends on treatment to treatment. Doctors, if you say doctors are expensive, मैं इलाज नहीं कराऊंगा, हो नहीं सकता. It depends. You are not going for surgery at the first instance. Maybe you need just a IP consultation, OP consultation, and you just need some kind of treatment. So even though the hospitals are so corporatized and they are charging high, still we go for the treatment. We take the advice of the doctor.
True.
So self-medication we don't do. At the same time, business is like
Absolutely.
run on the same
Absolutely.
principle.
So we are now moving to the core part of it. So when I first need to know कि किस तरह की कंपनी मुझे रजिस्टर करनी है, उसके लिए I need a chartered accountant. The myth broken is कि chartered accountants are not very expensive. You have to consult them, you have to meet them. ज़रूरी नहीं कि आप हर फाइलिंग एकदम से कर दो. You can sit with them and understand कि क्या कैसे करना है. Now coming to the importance of accounting.
Yes.
Okay?
Okay.
And I'll honestly tell you my experience. I've been running a business since 2015. ठीक है? And very honestly, couple of years I was not very open about my accounting. I was weak with that until I met a CFO of a large company and asked him, "Sir, मेरे पास बहुत पैसा आ रहा है, बहुत पैसा जा रहा है, but I don't know what is with me." And that is a day when I was told that accounting is very, very, very critical in any business. Your comments over it.
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, market में कैसा है? The perception I want to bring over here.
One more myth getting broken. One more myth getting broken.
Yeah, absolutely. People think कि भाई accounting is something which जो perception है market में, anybody can do accounting.
Correct.
या फिर business owner की सोच है कि मैं कर लूँगा. Okay, that's the biggest issue. नहीं, या फिर कोई और ऑफिस में है वो कर लेगा. Somebody who's handling admin, logistics, ऑफिस का भी काम कर रहा है, उसको ही लगा दो काम ऑफिस अकाउंटिंग काम.
Correct.
सो अकाउंटिंग इज नॉट दैट
5,000 में
समथिंग.
intern बिठा
अगर
दो.
इतना आसान होता अकाउंटिंग और कंप्लायंसेस, तो देन हमारी क्या ज़रूरत है? वाई वी नीड टू लोहे के चने चबा के सीए बनना और हज़ारों पन्नों की किताबें पढ़ना? आई मीन देयर इज़ नो पॉइंट. सो people are taking so casual, so I mean they don't understand the importance. They understand once they get the notice, or they understand once when they come across some opportunity wherein अरे यार कोई टेंडर में पार्टिसिपेट करना है, अब बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स ही नहीं है. Some scheme has come wherein I might not require to pay taxes, or I want to go for the loan. That point of time they realize कि भाई, because all those departments who are going to give you those kind of benefits, then they need the books of accounts and the audited financials. Then they realize कि भाई मेरे पास कुछ नहीं है बल्कि. So मैं कर लूँगा या किसी से करा लूँगा. I mean, I would like to give an example. I met with my one of my friend has suggested me कि his friend is running a business, and that business is related to some pesticides and a good turnover. And then he asked me कि भैया I want to do the audit with you, so can you please come down to my office and see my accounts? So I visited his office and I started looking at the books of accounts. I asked him, "Are you maintaining books of accounts?" He said, "Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing in Tally software." I said, "ठीक है, fine. So let me check your."
हार्डवे मतलब बुक में लिखना.
No, Tally software,
Tally, अच्छा.
accounting software. So when I started looking into the accounting software, then I was really surprised. I mean, I'm not able to understand the books of accounts, how it has been maintained. So I was really shocking. Then I asked him कि भाई ये books of accounts कौन बनाए, किसने आपके books बनाए? He said कि भाई one of my nephew, somebody has referred me, recommended me. तो मैं बोला चलो ठीक है. मैं what is his qualification? Then he said he's an engineer. Now you understand, I mean, so मैं बोला यार बहुत अच्छी इंजीनियर नहीं करे आपके बुक्स की. फिर बोला अगर ये अकाउंट्स में समझना है तो मुझे ये पहले सीखना पड़ेगा समझने के लिए. So accounts is something, I mean, you are appointing somebody who is from non-domain. You need to, if you need, what are the prerequisites of doing a proper accounting? You need to have knowledge of accounting standards. You need to have the knowledge of accounting principles, accounting के rules है, accounting के conventions है. You need to understand the nature of business. You should have the knowledge of, at least basic knowledge of GST and income tax. Then only you can do a proper accounting. Then it is justified.
Okay,
So-
I'll just interrupt. Sorry. I as a business owner, how do I know कि मेरी books of accounts which is getting maintained, if I don't have a proper CA, how do I know कि मेरी जो books of accounts हैं that are properly maintained?
Okay. So, I mean, before that, uh, if somebody is maintaining the books of accounts or not, that's a question. Once, if somebody is maintaining the books of accounts, then the question arises ki whether the books are proper or not, whether the books are going to reflect the true financial position of your business, whether are you making profit or loss, okay, or, and based on that particular thing, can I take some strategic decision? So are there any financial loopholes? Are there any financial leakages? Are the internal financial controls are in place or not? Those kind of things can be, I mean, highlighted or can be found out by doing the internal audit. So if you ask me, Munir, can you please help me out whether my books of accounts on par or not, whether my business is doing well, can you please help me with the business financial health checkup? We can do it by doing the internal audit. But if now the question here, most of the people are not aware of the importance of accounting. They are not maintaining the proper books of accounts. So that is the biggest concern now. The technology has grown to such an extent. Whenever we do filing, now we are getting all the information. Okay, because if you see the departments, like if you income tax department and GST department with central department, and if you see the state departments like PF, ESI and PT, and lot of other departments, like even in case of sub-register also, if you are selling property and if you're buying property, the information has been disseminated to income tax now. So even if you're doing credit card transaction, if you're taking up any foreign travel, everything is getting reflected on your account. So पहले तो ये सारी चीज़ें पूछना पड़ता था, पूछ के लेना पड़ता था. Now the question is, by clicking at the button, AIS and TIS small button is there in our software, we could able to see all the information getting transmitted to the system. Now when we are asking कि सर ये information reflect हो रही है, मुझे बताइए इसके documents लाइए supporting में, and they are surprised कि यार मैं तो बताया नहीं तुमको, तो तुमको कैसे मालूम हो रहा है? So now people have to understand कि gone are those days past कि पहले technology इतनी integrated नहीं थी. Now the information is really getting disseminated from each and every department and is getting centralized. Okay. The government is having an eye on every information. So now the time has come, you have to leave those bad habits, unlearn those things, learn what is happening. Now because of technology integration through use of AI, things are really getting, stringent now.
Two quick questions, and then I'll recap, and then I'll open the forum for the audience to ask you questions. One question is, for micro and small businesses, how do you recommend accounting?
Yeah. Okay. So that's a good
MSME ले लीजिए.
Yeah, good question. See, what we have also acknowledged and understood daily, मुझे रोज़ाना कॉल आती है यार कोई अच्छा अकाउंटेंट हमें दे दे बोल के. And I'm also facing the same problem, because when I take the interview of a graduate, he has done intermediate, done BCom 3 years, done MBA 2 years and MCom. 7 साल की पढ़ाई पढ़ने के बाद, when we ask the basic question, basic entry, they are not able to answer. This is the situation. Very disappointing, very heartbreaking. So, I mean, how can they be recruited? I mean, how can they justify the job actually? So to bridge this gap, we have come up with super accountant, wherein all the graduates who are not having the required skills, what is market is demanding, what industry is demanding. So we are trying to inculcate those skills and making them employable.
Say the name again
So
for the audience.
the super accountant.
Super accountant.
Yeah, super accountant. So if you are registering with this course, definitely in a span of 2 months, you will be inculcated, you will be equipped with lot of skills what is required. And I'm sure if somebody is taking interview of that particular candidate, you wouldn't be asking any question except one question saying, are you a super accountant? If you are a super accountant, then you are in. If not, then that's the way. You need to go and take the training
Two
part.
months course.
It's a 2 months course, yeah.
What is the qualification for this? मतलब
Yeah,
क्या
it's
background होना
BCom, MCom and MBA.
Anybody from 10, 12?
No, I would not be. We will not take.
Minimum MCom?
Yeah, absolutely.
थोड़ा
Because
discount
we
हो
need
सकता
the kind of maturity level that you have at
नहीं,
the.
but somebody who's matured, somebody like some sister
It
who,
depends from case
who's
to case.
in her 30s, but
Yeah.
she stopped at 12th or say degree.
Yeah. So we are getting inquiries also for that kind of thing. So can you also accommodate those? So
Correct.
it depends. We have a screening test that needs to be passed out. So based on the screening test results, we might also accommodate those kind of person.
Okay, and how much would this course cost so that audience can go back and tell their people?
Yeah, this course it's about 49,999, but we are giving 50% discount because we want to help those student community or and the people who are job aspirants so that they can get into this course and excel and master their skills.
Is it
And
offline,
then
online?
Both.
Both.
At this point of time, it's offline, but we are coming up with an online course as well in future
Okay.
course of time.
So basically, the takeaway is
So to answer your question, so now most of the small businesses have a big issue that they can't afford an accountant actually. I mean, because to pay an accountant, you need to pay at least 20,000 or 25,000 is a basic minimum salary that anybody would be expecting at this point of time, looking at the inflation and the जो महंगाई है उसके हिसाब से. तो अगर if you want, but most of the small businesses they can't afford to have such an accountant, so they can outsource those kind of work. So my message is at any चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए, accounting is must. You have to maintain books of accounts. If you are not able to afford an accountant and can't shell out 20 or 25,000 rupees, it's better you outsource to the professional entities which are there in the market. They would definitely help you in getting those accounts done on time. Once the accounting is done on time, the compliances will be on time.
Correct.
And you will not be end up in paying interest and penalties on those things. So the basic message is to have accounting in place. So you can outsource, and outsource can be much cheaper than keeping an in-house accountant at this point.
And this is specifically for small businesses who have
Small
less
business.
of transactions.
Yeah, less of transactions, small businesses.
Right. Okay, now I'm excited about this super accountant that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so anybody who has done their probably masters in MCom or something like that can apply. But
Yes.
you're also taking an exception if the maturity level
Yes.
or I would say the IQ level of the person is high, then probably they can give it a shot.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let me go ahead and open this for the audience. I think one or two questions people had. Any questions? Okay, one last thing. What has been one of the most, today when you look back, one of the most funniest decision that you made in terms of your accounts, and then you had to rectify it? You don't have to mention the name. Some of the funniest thing that you yourself or something. Today's Muneer bhai today is about 40. When you were young,
Yeah,
I'm sure there was some.
You are just nearby to my exact age, but I always think I'm 26, 25. So, मेरी
Okay, humtum.com, hear that out. Okay, हाँ.
क्योंकि मेरी सोच उससे आगे नहीं जाती मेरी. I always feel I'm 26 and 25. So, Alhamdulillah. So, age is just a number.
Somebody actually complimented saying, okay, Muneer bhai is so young.
So I would like to share one small example. When one person came to my office and I was standing at the reception, and then he came inside and he said, मुझे सर से मिलना है. सर है क्या? I said, he's there. मुझे सर से मिलना है, बात करना है बोल के. I said, ठीक है सर, आप बैठिए बोल के. So I made him sit at the lounge, and then I went into my cabin and I asked my office assistant to please send him inside. And then he came inside and I was surprised. And then he said कि अरे I thought salary accountant मतलब कोई बूढ़ा होगा, एकदम कोई संकी आदमी होगा, कोई चिड़चिड़ा आदमी होगा. But when I saw you, your age seems to be very young. So Alhamdulillah. So
So
शुक्र है अल्लाह का.
we will call you the Dev Anand of accounting world, ever young. Okay. With that, since we don't have any other question, and I have your counterpart in GST, which Karishma ma'am is handling it. That's it for now, Muneer bhai. Thank you so much It's on a very serious note. Accounting for every business is the backbone, whether you're raising the investments, whether you're have to justify that to the government, or even you
Many,
understanding how healthy is your business.
yeah.
I think that is your checkup, that's your report card. So get in touch with any of the CAs. I would definitely recommend him and her. Okay.
So, in nutshell, just wanted to conclude by saying, if you really maintain your books of accounts, many people come to me and say, as you rightly mentioned in the beginning, कि I'm doing a lot of business and transactions are coming and going, bank में पैसा आ रहा, bank में जा रहा, but I don't know where exactly I'm standing. So if you want to know the exact financial position, the prerequisite is to maintain books of accounts. If you want to know exactly you're making profit or loss, I've seen so many companies saying कि हम लोग माशाल्लाह अच्छा पैसा बना रहे हैं. Then when we did the financial due diligence, we came to know that they are doing nothing less than making very thin margins. So they don't know. They are happy saying कि भाई हमको इतना margin है बोल के. Because when you give quotation, they only understand what is material, labor, and overheads. But then there are a lot of costs which needs to be considered while giving this quotation. And those are the common costs which is related to management and which is related to admin, logistics, and a lot of expenses which will be there. So, and we have come across. So, if they don't maintain the books of accounts, how come they know that they are into profit or loss? What exactly decisions to be
It's
taken?
the report card of your business.
Absolutely. There are a lot of schemes that you need to get
aware
the
of.
benefit of it. But still you need a lot of MSME loans. People are going for that. They need to have the audited financials, and that needs to be first needed to have books of accounts. So if you need to get the reimbursement for the expenses from the government, if you participate in a tender, if you want to know the profit, if you want to know the health of your business, and if you want to do the valuation of your company, so there are a lot of startups and business and companies, and they wanted to go for the investment funding.
Correct.
And they need to do the valuation part. So we cannot do the valuation unless and until the books of accounts are in place. So there are a lot of advantages having.
Correct. And I think this is not an overnight game.
Absolutely.
Suddenly don't come to your chartered accountant and say कि भाई अब इसको बैठ के rectify करो.
Yeah.
That's bigger headache than actually.
Yeah. And the
finding
last thing, the biggest pain thing is accounts are interlinked. If you are not able to close your accounts this year perfectly, then all the closing balances are the opening balances of next year. So it is, if that means you've done mistake in the 1 year, that is going to continue unless and until you rectify it.
Correct.
So the corrective action has to be taken as early as possible.
Muneer bhai, it is always a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much.
Talking to you.
Thank you.
I'm sure there's a lot of benefit. We are recording the session for people to know it.